guys, it's Fee. I am here for a TTC update that I intended on doing a couple of days ago, but it just didn't happen. My transfer was on Monday, October 13th, and it is now Wednesday, October 15th, and I am finally getting around to doing this video. But for good reason, and I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so the transfer was on Monday, and our intention was to transfer in the last 3 Frosties that we had left. But when we got there, they told us that one of them did not survive the thaw. So that left us with 2 to put in. And I have pictures. These are the 2. There's the first one. And there's the second one. So these 2 are inside me, and hopefully they will stick, or at least one of them will. And I was told that this one was I want to say 5AB, and this one was a 5BA. So pretty good. We were actually really terrified when we got there that we were going to have any. I can't really describe that, but we both were really concerned if any of them are going to survive the thaw. And of course, there's no way to know that in advance, but my husband and I, we have very active imaginations, and, we were kind of thinking bottom of the barrel. The last 3, they've been frozen since the beginning of the year. Your mind gets away from you every now and then. But we did lose one, and the other 2 are good to go. So they are in. They are in and hopefully snuggling in tight. I did stay home the rest of that day, and I also stayed home on Tuesday. I wasn't entirely positive if I was going to take that extra day. I have the last 2 transfers, but this time my initial response was I was just going to take the transfer day. But I did end up staying couch-bound for that extra day, and really that's because I completely felt drained of energy, and I was still feeling that today. And also I was a little lightheaded. Now, I don't know if all of that was just circumstantial or if any of it was because of the intralipids. I have no idea. Supposedly you're not supposed to get too many side effects from that, and if you do, they're pretty rare, but he always figures out how to get the rare stuff. But I'm fine. I'm better. That kind of seems to have been short-lived. So they did do the IV of the intralipids right after the transfer, and I got 8 ml of 20% intralipids. The normal dose, or quasi-normal dose, singular dose, let's put it that way, is 4 ml. I needed the double dose because of my levels, my natural killer cell levels, so I got 8 ml. Now, any of you that have watched my past vlogs leading up to this know that I was pretty lucky, and I got a pretty sizable bag of intralipids for $7. My insurance covered that, which still floors me. And we were kind of hoping or wondering if they were going to be able to use that bag more than once. And the answer is no, they cannot. I was kind of expecting that, but at the same time kind of hoping that maybe they would be able to use it more than once, but they can't. So it's kind of a waste because it was a 500 ml bag and they only needed 8. So do the math there. A lot of waste. The smallest bag you can get it in, I believe, is 100, which is what my script was written for, but the pharmacy that I went to could only order it in 500 ml bags and in a case. So I'm hoping that they still have what's left of that case and didn't, return it or anything, because I do have another script. They gave me another script in advance to try and get another bag for that amazing price, because I will need it shortly after the pregnancy test, which is on next Thursday, October 23rd. So 9 days from now, 8 days, 9 days, something like that. So I will probably try and get that bag beginning of next week, maybe even tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. But whether I need it or not, I need to try and get it in advance. And hopefully I will need it, because that means that it was a positive test. Because they give you another infusion automatically shortly after that test. And I'm wondering how that's going to turn out, because I'm actually supposed to be out of town the 24th, 25th, and 26th. I'm in the Chicago area, just up in Wisconsin, so it's not like I'm getting on a plane or anything. But I wasn't going to be around those 3 days, so I guess we'll see when they want me to do the next infusion. I'm kind of hoping for Monday, because that would just work out well. But if I have to come back and do an infusion and then go back to where I'm got my little getaway at, then that's not that big of a deal. I will do that if I have to. So the actual transfer. All right, I have a picture of that too. And that's it. That's it. Okay, now that big black thing is a very, very full fee bladder. You have to have a full bladder for this. It doesn't take much for my bladder to get that full. But I did exactly what they told me to. It was 3 different times I had to drink 8 ounces of water. And by the time I got on that table, the nurse was like, oh my God, I don't even have to put this ultrasound on you. I can see that your bladder is full. So yeah, you can tell, very, very full fee bladder. And right here, this is the uterus area down here. And right there is where the little beans are. So that's that. That's that. Now, the only thing I can say that happened during the procedure that was different, I have never experienced this before. Now, this is my 3rd transfer. And shortly after the embryos were put in, the doctor had barely gotten, the speculum and everything out of me. I felt 2 very distinct pinches, 2, right in a row, almost kind of like a cramp, but it definitely felt like a pinch. And then that stopped, and then about 10 to 15 seconds later, I got another one. And then that was it. So that happened twice, 2 pinches. And of course, I'm trying not to read into that, because, hey, that would be really awesome if that meant that these 2 little beans latched on that quick, and that's what I was feeling. But I'm sure that's probably not what that was. That would be like a miracle. And I'll take it. I will take it if that's what it was. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what those 2 little pinches I felt were. I don't think it was anything that was being taken out of me, because there's a number of contraptions they have to put in you to do this. Because I'm pretty sure all of that was removed already. It was pretty close in timing. Or it just could have been a cramp, because you can get some cramping and some abdominal discomfort from this. I never have before. I kind of have the uterus of steel. I don't really get bleeding or spotting or anything from any of these tests or procedures that I have been through, not even the HSG, and that one normally makes you bleed. I didn't get anything. So I suppose it's possible that was some cramping, but I don't know. As for anything else, I am going to try my best to just ignore any symptoms that I've been getting, because I know that the progesterone shots that I'm on have the same exact side effects as pregnancy side effects. So it really can mess with your mind if you don't hunker down and really make an effort to ignore any of the signs so that you don't go crazy. But I will say I was exhausted. I could not stay awake the rest of the day of the transfer or on Tuesday. Today, I still felt pretty darn exhausted. Like my whole body was just, I don't want to say body aches, I just felt like someone drained the energy out of me. So I have no idea if that is from the intralipids, if that is from the progesterone finally kicking in. I mean, I've had to be on the progesterone injections 5 days prior to the transfer. So that's 8, 9 days now. I suppose it could be Murphy's Law that they built up enough to start giving me some of these side effects, but that's some timing, let me tell you. So that's all I have, really. That is all I have. I have no intention of testing in advance because that will drive me crazy. I did that the very first IVF cycle I went through. I tested early and I was a wreck because at that point, it's like, did I test too early? Did I test too late? Is this a bad test? Is that a line? Is that not a line? Yeah. Once you test once, it's like you're sucked into this oblivion of peeing on a stick, like what seems like every couple hours, or at least that's what you want to do. So at least I know that's the way I am. So I am not doing that. I did not do that last time. I will more than likely test on the morning of the blood test. So next Thursday, on the 23rd, I will probably test in the morning as soon as I get up, because at that point, I really don't see much harm in that. It's the same day as the blood test. I'm going to find out later that day anyways. And if it is positive, I get to know bright and early in the morning, and I don't have to wait for those people to call me until the afternoon, because that's always the way it goes. You always have to wait for that infamous call when you go in for blood tests until like 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Even if you're there at 7 a.m. to do your blood work, it doesn't matter. You got to wait the whole day for the call. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to test the morning of and cross my fingers. And that's pretty much that. So that's all I have. That's all I have. Nothing new with my protocol. I'm still taking the progesterone daily. I'm taking the estradiol every other day. I'm taking the baby aspirin. I have been taking bromelain, which is the ingredient that is in pineapple core that a lot of people take to help with implantation. I'm taking the pill form of that. What else? Everything else is just my normal vitamins and prenatals. They have not added anything else onto the repertoire yet, so we shall see. All right, so next Thursday, folks, we're crossing the fingers, and we're crossing the toes, and we're crossing the eyes, and we're crossing the hairs, and we're crossing everything we got. I told somebody at work that at this point I accept thoughts and prayers and spells and sacrifices. I'm kidding with that last one. At this point, I'm not picky. Anything people are willing to send my way to get this journey to work, I'm good with that. I am no longer picky. So I will talk to you guys probably next Thursday. I will try to update as soon as I can when I get the results. But the official results will not be till late that afternoon. So I will talk to you then. Bye.